The night after the shooting, I had a dream that ended with the verse John 1:5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. And when I woke up, I felt like it was seared into my brain, and I didn't really know what it was for, but I knew it would be something to hold on to in the days to come.
It was just a normal summer salt. Like, it was the first night of Salt Company, and so, like usual, we're just excited. And our staff, it was our very first day, the very first day of the summer for our team.
So I had moved out to West Lafayette to start a PhD program, and was in a Barnes & Noble when one of my friends on staff sent me a text saying that we needed to start praying because there had been an active shooter at Salt Company. And I called my co-leader from last year, who's one of my best friends, Sarah, and just went out to my car in the parking lot and just sat in there and talked with her for probably like half an hour.
I mean, Hannah Beth, I still remember the first time I saw you, and you're this lively person, full of expression and energy, and you're stunned. You can't, it's like you couldn't find a facial reaction.
I felt like I just watched evil. And I remember coming home thinking, I mean, for a lot of people, for like half of our staff team, it was their very first day of their job. And I know what my first day of being on SALT staff was like. And the first time I got to welcome students, come worship Jesus, come, who are you, what's your story? It was nothing like that. I could not in that moment visualize moving on at all. I felt like, what will become of Salt Company? What will become of the people on our staff team?
And I remember the first day after the shooting, we had trauma counselors who came in, and one of them said, from here forward, the rest of your life is going to be marked by this story. Like, you're here for this. And I remember thinking, no, I don't want that. I don't want that to be my story. My story has all these other things. I don't want that to be the story of our church. So I had an option, and I wanted to take it of just pure denial. Like, no. Or I had to turn toward, that dark story and find the glimmer of light that was there.
So my friend Sarah and I came here to lay down some flowers and just pray over the space. And she knew about my dream, and as we were reading scripture and praying, I remembered it. That verse had just been staying in my head the past couple days. It's like the constant prayer. And I tore out a piece of the notebook that I'd been using all year, brought to every Salt Company, writing down the prayer requests of Eden and Vivian and all the other girls in the connection group, and wrote down the verse and tied it onto the flowers.
Very early on, I saw that verse sitting there, and it just grabbed me. Like, really, that's the story we're living. There's darkness, but there's light.
The traumatic event itself is like as the sun setting over the horizon. After the traumatic event is when it dips below and the light starts to fade. And we can enter into this time period where we're chasing after a sun that's already set, and the light is fading and the darkness is advancing behind us. And so we had to make the decision to stop running towards a setting sun and turn and intentionally walk into the darkness, trusting that dawn is going to break on the other end.
Terry, Eden's dad, shared with me that one of the things that's helped him so much is even just the realization that we are still suffering. We're still trying to figure our way through the dark, but they're not. They went from darkness to light instantly and fully. So the girls aren't suffering. We're trying to figure that out.
Even when we sing at Salt Company and we're scared and we're so sad, oftentimes God will just remind me, you're singing with them. You are joining in a song. They haven't stopped singing since the moment you watched them die. We're not going to stop singing to Jesus at SALT. We're not going to stop bringing people in to the family of God. And whenever I feel scared, oh no, the darkness and evil, what if it's here? It is. And it can listen, because we're going to praise Jesus together. Very early on, I had to make a decision that this was not just going to be a parking lot of tragedy and horror and darkness. This was the parking lot where two students that I love met Jesus face to face.
It takes like a lot of courage to come and talk about it here even. you know? A million beautiful things that happen don't undo the one terrible thing. And I wouldn't trade it for them. But that's not the option we have. We don't get to choose the places where darkness enters our life, but we still have the darkness. Even that verse, Hallie, I've thought about a lot, that we don't have a story where it's all light. It's not that way. It's like that twilight of maybe a gradual dawning of light, but then it's like God gave us these beams of light, almost like from a flashlight, where it's just a single beam into the dark. That it doesn't light everything up, but you know there's enough light to walk forward. Like I had enough light to shine. I'm like, oh, I can step there and it'll hold me. I can go there and I can kind of keep walking.